now can you take your chin towards one shoulder and your chin towards the opposite shoulder? Can you go ahead and take your ear towards one shoulder and your ear towards the other shoulder? Can you shrug your shoulders for me? Now we're just going to repeat a few of those with a little bit of resistance. Against my hand, can you go ahead and take your chin to your chest? Good. And rotate your chin towards your shoulder. Good. And again. Okay, and can you shrug against my hands? Good. We're going to move on to the upper extremities. I'm going to start with inspection. I'm going to note that the shoulders are symmetrical and equal in size and contour, that the arms appear equal in length, and that there's no obvious deviations upon inspection. I'm going to go ahead and palpate the upper extremities. I'm going to start with the shoulder and just go all around the shoulder joint and go around to the scapula and come back and go down the arms, and I'm going to note that they're equal in warmth and there's no atrophy noted. I don't feel any lesions, I don't feel any nodules. Get to the hands. I'm going to palpate the joints for any nodes or nodules or swelling or tenderness. And I'm going to check the capillary refill, and it's less than 2 seconds. The nail beds are pink in color. There are no deformities of the nails, no clubbing of the nails noted. I'm going to palpate the brachial pulses, and they're equal in strength and strong. I'm going to palpate the radial pulses, and again they're equal and strong. I'm going to go ahead and have you turn to the side for me, Lisa, and I'm going to do the posterior chest and back next. Okay, and I will start my inspection of skin color. The skin appears pink, even. There's no lesions noted. And I would check thoracic configuration at this time and note that the AP diameter is less than the lateral diameter. I would palpate for any masses, nodules, or tenderness. Any tenderness at all? Mm-mm. At this time, I'm going to palpate the costovertebral angle, and I'm going to go ahead and percuss for any tenderness. Does that hurt at all?
No.
Does that hurt at all?
No.
Good. And I'm going to go ahead and inspect respirations at this time and note that they're equal, they're unlabored, they're symmetrical, there's no signs of retractions noted. And then I'm going to check, go ahead and palpate the expansion. I'm going to go to about the level of the 10th rib and place my thumbs and ask Lisa to take a big deep breath for me. And my thumbs raise symmetrical with the lung expansion. And I'm going to go ahead and do what we call tactile firmness at this time. Each time I place my hands on your back, can you just say 99 for me?
Okay. 99, 99, 99, 99.
Okay. And at this time, I'm going to perform percussion over all the lung fields of the back. And resonance is what I want to are here. Okay, Lisa, can you go ahead and raise your arms up for me? I'm going to do this on the sides. Good. Okay. And now we're going to do diaphragmatic excursion. What I'm going to do here in a minute, I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath and hold it with your lungs full. And I'm going to percuss down the mid-scapular line until I hear it go from like a resonant sound to a dullness. I would let you breathe normal for a minute, and I would mark this area. Okay, and what I'm going to have you do next is just take a big deep breath and let it all the way out and hold it with your lungs empty, okay? And I would percuss back up and listen for it to go from the dullness back to the resonance, and I would measure this area. Okay, and now I'm just going to listen to all of your lung fields. If with each time that I touch my stethoscope to your back, can you go ahead and take a deep breath for me? And I'm going to be listening with the diaphragm of my stethoscope. Just going to listen down here this side and the other side. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let you turn back around, and we're going to inspect the anterior chest. I'm going to start with inspection of the anterior chest. The skin is pink and even, and there's no lesions. And I'm going to again observe respirations, that they're equal, unlabored, symmetrical. There's no retractions noted. And I'm going to palpate for any masses or nodules. And there are none noted. And I'm going to go ahead and palpate the precordium at this time. And I'm going to start with the apex of the precordium. And the base of the precordium. And the left sternal border. And no thrills are palpated in any of these areas. And I'm going to go ahead and palpate the apical pulse. And there are no lifts present. I'm going to go ahead and do the tactile firmness again. So each time I touch my hands to your chest, just say 99.
Okay. 99, 99, 99, 99, 99.
Great. And I'm going to go ahead and do percussion. Again, just going back and forth, comparing the lung fields and listening for the resonance. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to listen to your breathing first. So each time I touch my stethoscope, I want you to take a deep breath for me.
Okay.
And again, I'm listening to the diaphragm of my stethoscope. Okay, at this time, Lisa, you can breathe normal. I'm going to switch to the bell of my stethoscope and auscultate the heart sounds. I'm listening in the aortic area first, in the pulmonic area, an Erb's point, the mitral area, the tricuspid area, I'm sorry, and then the mitral area. And there are no gallops, rubs, or murmurs heard. At this time, we're going to complete the abdominal assessment. So I'm going to have you lay down. Here. Yeah, we're good. Okay, I'm going to start with the inspection of the abdomen. I'm going to note the color is pink, that there are no obvious masses at this time. Lisa, can you go ahead and raise your head for me? And there are no masses, hernias, or muscle separation noted. I'm going to go ahead and auscultate vowel sounds at this time, and I'm going to start with the diaphragm of my stethoscope and just auscultate vowel sounds in all four quadrants. and vowel sounds are present in all 4 quadrants. And now I'm going to flip to the bell of my stethoscope and just listen to your arteries. I'm going to start with the aorta and listen at the area of the renal arteries, and the iliac, and the femoral. And no bruits are heard at this time. And next I'm going to percuss all 4 of your abdominal quadrants and just listen for tympani. And tympani is heard in all 4 quadrants. I'm going to go ahead and percuss the span of the liver at this time, and I'm going to do this at the right midclavicular line. I'm going to start down and work my way up. Just listen for that dullness. Okay, I would mark this area, and then I would start from above and listen, and whenever it changed again, I would mark that area and measure. And then I'm going to check for splenic dullness at the left mid-axillary line. And it's heard around the level of the 8th rib. And I'm going to now do light palpation. And I'm just checking for smoothness, any tenderness. And it feels smooth, no tenderness at all. No. And I'm going to go ahead and do deep palpation in each quadrant. And just check for any masses or tenderness. And now I'm going to do deep palpation to check the liver border at the right costal margin. Can you go ahead and take a deep breath for me? And go ahead and let it out. And the liver is not palpable. And I'm going to go ahead and check the left costal margin for the see if I can palpate the spleen. And I'm going to take a big deep breath and let it out. And the spleen is not palpable. I'm going to go ahead and do your left kidney at this time. I'm going to have you take a deep breath in. I'm going to try to cup around it and have you take your breath out. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with your right. Okay, good. And I'm going to palpate the aortic pulsation at this time. Okay, go ahead and sit up for me. I'm going to examine the lower extremities. I'm going to note that the skin is pink bilaterally, that there's no visible edema. And I'm going to note that there's no atrophy. I'm going to palpate. And they're both warm in color. And there's no edema noted in the lower extremities or the feet. I'm going to palpate the dorsalis pedis. And it's equal and strong on both limbs. I'm going to palpate the posterior tibial, and it's equal and present on both limbs. I'm going to palpate the popliteal, and it's equal and present. At this time, I'm going to do muscle strength. If you could hold your arms out in front of me. Can you push up against my hands and down? Good. And then with your legs, can you push out and back? I'm going to go ahead and test your reflexes at this time. I'm going to start with your brachial. If you could just relax your arm and let me kind of bear the weight of it. Okay. And the brachial reflex is present. Okay, again. And the brachial reflex is present. I'm going to check your patellar reflexes. And they're both present. And I'm going to check your Achilles tendon reflexes. If you could just let me bear the weight of your leg. Okay, it's present. Now bear the weight of this leg. And it's present. I'm going to go ahead and have you stand up. I'm going to examine the spine. I'm going to note that the cervical spine is concave. The lumbar spine is concave. I'm going to palpate the back for any muscle spasms or nodules or anything abnormal at this time. Can you go ahead and bend over and touch your toes? And I'm going to note that the back becomes convex, everything remains symmetrical, and there's no lateral curvature of the spine. Okay, Lisa, you can go ahead and stand up for me. And this concludes my physical examination.